well, this is One Leeds. This is the Rumour Mill. This is One Leeds. Welcome back to the latest video. This video, as always, is sponsored by Shop GNO, The Job Match Group, and Match Bingo. Let's get into it. First up, The Job Match Group. Whether you're looking for your next big gig or just browsing, The Job Match Group has niche job sites made just for you. F1, retail, security, and loads more. They're about matching the right person to the right job. Make sure you check them out if you're ready to level up your career. Then we've got Shop GNO, an exciting new e-commerce site where you can grab exclusive deals and discounts. Right now, One Leeds has an affiliate link just below where you can score a 25 quid membership for free, unlocking special rates and benefits. You can even list your own shop on there with way better rates than Amazon, eBay, and Vinted. They've got some Leeds bits and some general bits now and launching soon, plus some great prizes just for signing up. This is all powered by a massive Leeds United fan looking to make waves in the online shopping world. So check them out and support your local. And don't forget our mates at Match Bingo. They're smashing it with footy fun. You can get 5 bingo cards for the price of 4 through One Leeds, and you can even deposit just £5 at a time to join the action. It's a big chance to win whilst having a blast with your fellow Leeds United friends. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Check the links in the description, and let's get on with the video. Well, hello everybody. Better late than never. What's going on in your world? Let me know in the comment section below. Good to see a lot of the regulars in here, everybody. What's going on? We're back here with Leeds United news. Today we're going to be speaking about Elland Road. Today we're going to be speaking about Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We're going to be speaking about injury news reverting to Leeds United. We're going to be speaking about Patrick Bamford, referring to Leeds United, I should say. We're going to be speaking about Jayden Bogle, Harry Wilson. We've got it all. And guys, make sure you slap a like on the video. Really appreciate it. And the reason behind that, everybody, is because the algorithm isn't doing us favors at this moment in time. So all of your help would be very much appreciated. Hit a like on the video. Also, just like to say this as well, we are less than 100 subscribers away from 50,000 people. 50,000 people, which is absolutely insane. Chris Allen says, morning, Connor lad. All aboard the One Gabby fan channel. I'm all about that, my friend. Our boy Rafinha robbed last night. I saw that, buddy. Absolute chaos. 304 people watching. Smash a like. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Connor. 1026 will be about 25 quid. Yeah, it was a little bit late this morning. Shout out to Amy. Shout out to the members in the building as well. Roscoe's here as well. Ian Brown is talking about Sunderland again. Ian Brown, the man who says that Leeds are obsessed with Sunderland. And here we go. Connor is definitely, I'm not a Sunderland fan. I just appreciate what you guys are doing. I think you're doing a good job this season. So credit where credit is due. Okay, slap a like on the video, everybody. Really appreciate it again. And let's get into today's Leeds United news, shall we? Quite a bit to get through, really. And let's start off with this man on our right, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. iPaper and a few other sources. Clearly, it's just been broken today, which is really interesting when you're looking at the timing of this. The Sun have reported on it as well, but iPaper in particular have spoken about this story today about Calvert-Lewin and his valuation and who exactly he rejected when it came to his transfer. We're all told in the summer that Dominic Calvert-Lewin had rejected multiple Champions League clubs and had rejected multiple clubs in general to join the mighty White. Sunderland were mentioned, but there's been big clubs, very, very big clubs mentioned this morning. And it's interesting when it comes to DCL, because I think a lot of us were talking about the length of the deal, the money that he was being offered, and basically the overall package that we were kind of quite inquisitive about. It was like, really? Like, he's choosing Leeds United? Not because we're not the big club, but when you're talking about some of the Goliaths in the European game, you're thinking, okay, newly promoted Leeds. Okay, that I get if we beat Sunderland, but some of these clubs, it's quite staggering, actually. The iPaper reporting this morning that Calvert-Lewin rejected an £18 million package, and it comprised as well of a 3-year deal to not go to Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce, which is a really staggering movement. Obviously, we know they're playing in Europe as well. Jose Mourinho, an £18 million package, and he refused to come to Leeds United. There was also apparently AC Milan, Newcastle, and Man United all held talks and wanted Dominic Calvert-Lewin. The problem was Dominic Calvert-Lewin wanted a longer deal, 3 to 4 years, obviously, to make his future a little bit more solidified. That he's not playing effectively per injury, and seeing if he's going to be injured for a set amount of time, then his contract could only be for that year, and then it's a bit of turmoil in a player's career, isn't it? But the iPaper today has said that all AC Milan, Newcastle, and Man United all wanted Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and there were talks held as well, but clubs were wary of doing a long-term deal, of which DCL wanted. Leeds got ahead with the length of the deal and then went effectively head-to-head with Fenerbahce, and Leeds won the race for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So I thought that was pretty interesting this morning, because as Leeds fans, we have no idea who these clubs are that Dominic Calvert-Lewin has said to us that he's rejected to sign for Leeds United. We know that he's from this part of the world as well, which I guess is, gives him a little bit of a push to come back up to Yorkshire. But yeah, interesting stuff. Happy with that as well. It makes us feel good as Leeds United fans as well, doesn't it? But there you go. Dominic Calvert-Lewin apparently rejecting all these European clubs and all that sort of stuff. Andrew says nearly 300 who haven't liked. Yeah, guys, we've got 80. This is pitiful. Come on, let's rack it up to 400 if we can. Henry says, really pleased if Paddy gets another club. We'll get on to that in a second. Morning, Connor. Hi, mate. How's it going? Morning. It says Anthony Goodwin. Morning from Bewdley, where there are lots of Wolves fans. Fred Holmes says we've also got some more Sunderland fans in here. Let's get to 50k. Yes, indeed, Stripper. Good man. Leeds fan says, morning, Connor. Doesn't DCL come from Yorkshire? I wouldn't go to Scum if I lived in Yorkshire. Anyway, yeah, I agree. EJJ Turner says DCL must be a Leeds fan. I don't think he is. I think we came up through the Sheffield United Academy, didn't he? And I think, any time he's played against Leeds, and well, I think he scored maybe 2 or 3 goals against us every single time. He gives it, doesn't he? James Kent, thanks for that, mate. Really appreciate it. Josh Tracy's in the building as well. How's it going, mate? Andrew says, in Bali, watch Wolves game with another Leeds supporter who I met in a sports bar. Good stuff. Leeds fans are everywhere, mate. But I thought that was quite cool this morning from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Okay, we'll touch on the injury news as well coming into this weekend, everybody. Leeds facing a very, very good Bournemouth side. It's going to be a very, very tricky fixture, but I am very, very encouraged after Leeds United's win against Wolverhampton Wanderers in the Black Country. So yeah, look, this at the weekend I was watching Bournemouth versus Newcastle, bit of a tame affair, to be honest with you. 2 good teams who cancelled each other out. So this game is going to be fascinating to see how Leeds set up, the pragmatism the manager involves, how he's going to really get himself through this game, because it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. And the latest injury news from the Bournemouth side is Ryan Christie looks like he's back. Obviously, he came on at the weekend, but he looks like he's back to full fitness. Expect him to start at the weekend. We'll move on just quickly. Lewis Cook looks like he's going to be out for this one. Apparently, he does have a shoulder injury, which will keep him out for a little bit of a homecoming to Elland Road. We move a little bit further on there, and this guy was in conversation to be out maybe for this one. Tyler Adams, he took a knock at the weekend. There was a few reports afterwards saying this could be it for Tyler Adams and maybe a little bit of a return to Elland Road. But it looks like after taking that knock, he is expected to be fit for this one, which I thought, oh, God. But I know it sounds daft, but in that midfield, I know they've got a lot of... I think the thing with Bournemouth's midfield is just the ability to run. The ability to run. That's kind of where I'm at with it. It's just, yeah, I mean, the running stats are always top 3 in the Premier League. They will press us into oblivion, and we've just got to deal with that press. And I think without maybe pressing anchors in that team, Tanaka, Bogle, Nonso, I think Leeds might struggle a little bit in comparison to let's say, having a Longstaff in there, an Aronson, and maybe a James Justin. I just think the care on the ball will be a little bit more of a problem with those 3 as opposed to the 3 that I just mentioned at the start there. So it looks as well like so Tyler Adams is going to be fit for this one, and then we just move to a Leeds United ember of it now. The YEP are still reporting as of around about 12 hours ago when they did a little bit of a breakdown on the Leeds United news. He is a doubt for this game. Jaden Bogle, obviously, we saw at the weekend, he was moving quite gingerly, wasn't able to actually move on that right-hand side as well, which, his right foot, I believe it was, which is a slight issue. So he's apparently a doubt for this game. Lucas Perry is still a doubt. We were told last week that it looked like he was going to be okay for this game. The Bournemouth one, to keep an eye out for that one, I guess. But yeah, I've got a feeling he might be out for this one with the continued reports as well. Obviously, it's all about recovery as well. And as he recovered in the right vein going into this game, he might not have done so. Something to keep an eye on there. And then we have a quick look as well at the other side of it. And Daniel James apparently still, or is going to be a major doubt for this one. Obviously, we know with Daniel that he was suffering, which kept him out of the last game. Nonto, again, according to the YEP, is going to be another doubt for this one as well, which if we just get Nonto back for this one, it'd be such a boost for Leeds United. Yeah, so Nonto for me is one of which I'm looking at, and just the care of the ball. It'd be great, wouldn't it? It'd be great. Hold on, guys. Yeah, so important news there, really, when it comes to the injuries. And yeah, it looks like Nonto doesn't look like he's going to be fit. We'll find out a lot more from Daniel Farker, obviously, on Thursday. But the big ones are Nonto. The big ones are Dan James. Dan James apparently a major doubt. The YEP reporting yesterday and this morning that Nonto is going to be a doubt for this one. But Joel Piroe is back. I kind of wish that it would be working for Joel, to be honest with you, because I mean, look, we just move on to his little icon here, which, you know, so it looks like Perry's going to be out, James, Nonto, and Piroe. But I wanted to just touch on Piroe a second. You kind of look once again across the pond at what's going on with the likes of not across the pond, but you know, across the way. Well, I'm too used to being with Gabe on here. But when you look at maybe Jaden Anthony, when you from an attacking sense at Burnley, then you look at Sunderland in particular with their attacking bodies in Wilson Isidore and Mayenda, who've really proven that they can make that step up from the Championship to the Premier League this season. I would have loved that for Joel Piroe. But as we mentioned several times last year, I just don't feel he's good enough. I don't think he has the Premier League attributes. And I think Daniel Farker understands that. I think the fan base now probably kind of get that, apart from some fans genuinely saying that he was going to be in the top 10 in the Premier League scorers. Honestly, is what I mean. I genuinely don't think some fans watch football. But yeah, Joel Piroe is going to be back for this one again, which should be positive for Leeds in a sense of just having an option there. But I would have loved him to have that arc that the likes of Isidore and Mayenda had. But I was always saying last year that, you know, even if Piroe was part of the club, if Leeds had the availability, if Sunderland had stayed down to go get Wilson Isidore, they should have done it because he's got all the attributes to be a Premier League player. And I got called crazy because Joel Piroe has scored 19 goals in the Championship. And non-surprisingly, no surprise whatsoever, he's not featured because he doesn't have the attributes to fit into the Premier League. And I just wish it would have worked for him. But, you know, I do wish in the summer months we'd have sold him on. And just whilst his stock was relatively high, because it's not going to be higher than it was in the summer, because he's not going to play now. It's probably going to be lower, even if we sold him in January or the summer. But I just wish that would have worked out in terms of the long term for Piroe. But I think he's always going to be that top Championship striker. And that's maybe where we should have cashed in. I know Leeds were talking about keeping all the strongest assets and not wanting to let people go. But Joel Piroe was never going to play in the Premier League, in my humble opinion. Right, let's get on to a couple of more. Sean Tong, hi mate, says, morning Connor, always lovely to start the day with your lovely hair on my TV. Make sure you slap a like and give this media juggernaut some hype as well. Thank you so much, Sean. Lovely comment. Martin says, wow, Connor, wow, all of our problems are solved then with Piroe back. Indeed, mate. DCL, he's got to stay fit, says Michael Pollard. Carefully, even that lone striker role up front with his up front on his own with no support and chasing about is not what we call managing a player with a poor injury record. James says Alex Scott is seriously underrated. He is very good. The Leeds lens says against Bournemouth, go long, eliminating the threat caused by their press. Keep Semenyo quiet and we can get a result. Luke B. Lee says it's nice having a striker with that natural instinct. From the moment Bogle hit the cross, DCL knew exactly what to do. Stay fit and carry on. That's it though, isn't it? And it's one of those where I think we're all very aware of what needs to happen. When it comes to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, we have to keep this boy fit. He simply has to stay fit because, and that's, you know, when we go back to the original story that we were talking about when it comes to DCL and all of these clubs been interested in him, I fully believe they were. Like, at the very, you know, let's just flip all the way back here to, and look, these are the stories that we're going to be speaking about. If we've got DCL on here, should be flying up in just a second. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, there we go. It doesn't surprise me. We've not even got AC Milan on there or Fenerbahce, but Man United and Newcastle all offering him a deal and all speaking to him. I mean, we've got no confirmation that they offered him a deal, but there were talks that held, according to the Eye, and obviously the Sun this morning, which has kind of hopped on it. But that doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Fenerbahce offering him a big deal. I never thought Dominic Calvert-Lewin was lying in that scenario. Why? Then he's got to effectively then, prove that his lie was, worth it. There's no point in putting that extra pressure on yourself. I do believe there were clubs after him. I believe Fenerbahce, Man United, Newcastle, AC Milan, it all makes sense. But they'll probably given him smaller deals, as we've just spoken about. So Dominic Calvert-Lewin's ability, if you keep him fit, is a big deal. If you keep him fit and you're able to get the best out of him and he gets his confidence back, and hopefully that's going to spur on what we saw at the weekend. That's obviously what I'm hoping. Right, okay, get a few comments in. George says, very happy with Darlow in goal. Defenders have confidence in him also. Perry needs to earn his spot now. Indeed, yeah, good to see Lee's in here as well. Lazy Shack says, morning, Connor. We can ditch the Premier League inferiority complex now. I'm not exaggerating by saying that nobody so far in Premier League looks unbeatable. Football and life are unpredictable. Yeah, I think what we do have to say is they were incredibly bad at the weekend. I thought we were good, but they were incredibly bad. They were very, very poor. I thought they left us a lot of space. I don't think we're going to get the likes of Bournemouth and Spurs and Burnley even doing that. I'd be very, very surprised if that was the case. So now it is all about us maintaining that, maintaining feet on the ground and, being confident in what we have, keeping the lads, as I say, just grounded, keeping them fit, making sure they're ticking over. It doesn't feel like we've had a lot of lady luck so far this year when it comes to fitness. And I know Daniel Farke, well, according to himself in his press conference, is really working them hard. And he said verbatim several times that because we don't have the technical ability, we need to be running a lot. So I wonder if some of the injuries are being caused by maybe just an excess poundage on the old legs as well. But I don't know, but you need to get these players fit. You need to get them as fit as possible because you're coming up against, and this will have already happened anyway, but you're coming up against the team this weekend who are one of the fittest in the Premier League, and they also have that technical level. So anything for me this weekend, in excess of a draw would be an unbelievable result, but a draw would be a very, very good result for Leeds. I would take 1 point out this next 2 games. I'd take that. I wouldn't be happy, but it's just realistic. I think you've got 2 teams here who are I think probably going to finish in the top 6, 7. And the only reason I've gone that low is because of Bournemouth, really. But there's an argument Bournemouth will finish ahead of Spurs. Okay, let's have a look. Need to keep DCL fit, but Metro must also get minutes. I agree, mate. I agree. Martin says Connor can Bornau play at right back. I wouldn't like to see that, mate. He's too slow. Yeah, he's too slow on the turn for me. I saw signs of chemistry between DCL and Okafor at the weekend, which is promising. George has also said that he's very happy with Darlow in goal. It's so interesting, isn't it, with no Okafor? I mean, I've had a few debates with you guys. And by the way, guys, we are going to be back with White Noise. White Noise is back tonight from 7 p.m, myself and Brownie. But I've had debates with quite a few people over the weekend about no Okafor. And it's interesting, isn't it? I'm just not fully convinced on him yet. Let's get his profile up and we can throw him into the discussion and debate before we finish off with a couple more news stories which we've seen today. So I'm just not 100% there yet. But I was really happy with him getting his goal at the weekend. I've said just several times that I'd like to see him just hit that byline a little bit more, beat his man. And, Gabe was throwing at me that he'd had 6 successful dribbles out of 14. I need to see a little bit more than that, a little bit more completion. I get we've won the game. He scored the goal. So, it's going to be very overzealous and everybody's going to be very excited by it. And I am too, by the way, very excited by it. And hopefully it's going to be a little bit of a level up, a pedestal basically for him to, kind of get to that consistency and momentum that he struggled with in the last 2 or 3 years, really post RB. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm not fully convinced yet, but listen, if he puts in the winner against Bournemouth, puts in a brilliant performance, then we're all going to be absolutely singing from the same hymn sheet, aren't we? So yeah, no Okafor is going to be a fascinating one as well. Let's move on from Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Noah Okafor, and the Leeds United injury news, shall we? So this is an interesting one coming out this morning, a fascinating one coming out this morning. Apparently Leeds United, and it follows on from DCL, doesn't it? Leeds were very close. Krstovic got a couple of goals at the weekend. But according to Utidiano Puglia, which is a very good local source, of which apparently is very close to Atalanta, said Leeds United did everything they could to sign him. And apparently Leeds were very, very close, which I thought was interesting. Obviously, with the conversation about Dominic Calvert-Lewin, there was obviously the conversation throughout the whole window of Rodrigo Muniz. But local papers in Bergamo are suggesting as well today that Leeds did everything they could to sign him, obviously because he scored his goal. So now they're saying, you know, Atalanta have done so well in bringing him in, and they beat so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so to his signing, which is what we're doing with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, or what I'm doing. So it's always quite funny, isn't it? Because how the papers work is so interesting. So Dominic Calvert-Lewin scores his goal. Now I'm saying to you guys, Fenerbahce try to sign him, Man United try to sign him, AC Milan try to sign him, Newcastle try to sign him, Krstovic scores his first goals of the campaign for Atalanta. Well, Leeds tried to sign him, and it just elevates that player profile a little bit more. Not only has he scored for Atalanta, not only has he scored for Leeds, but we've also beaten him, beaten him to the signing, which is always quite positive as well. Leeds then says Okafor is the only winger that looks a threat, in my opinion. He's not quite as good physically as I thought. Let's hope he can work on that. Rune says keep Okafor fit, and he will be a game-changing star. Hope you're right, buddy. I believe we'll beat Bournemouth. DCL and Okafor scoring. I believe they'll be sniffing goals now. I have a feeling we'll beat Bournemouth. Watch this. But hope you're right, buddy. Hope you're right. Until the equaliser, Okafor was turning Connor insane with the bad decision making. Yeah, and I get it. Look, and I'm not here to dig him out. I think I really hope he grows into this Leeds United side. There needs to be a little bit more bullishness, I feel, though, and a little bit more physicality. And I'm just not convinced he's got this out and out pace that I keep getting told he's had. But at the same time, he's got a goal for Leeds United. I'm not going to be down on him, but I'm yet to be fully convinced. But I'm open. I'm an open book. I'm an open book. You know, I've not narrowed anything at all. And MW, I know you're not as well, mate. I know you're not. But I'm not a narrow book or a closed book, not a narrow book, not a narrow road. Hasselbank on Strictly. Wonder when O'Leary will vote for him. Heard Ramazani is injured. Is this true? Yeah, I think I saw something on that this morning, mate. Apparently he might miss the game at the weekend. So keep an eye on that one. Right. Bizarre. Fishages.net, and some very prominent reporters online from the Spanish side are reporting today that Patrick Bamford is finalizing his move to Getafe. Now, this is probably a moving story. Is it going to be pulled back a little bit? I'm not 100% sure. But according to a few reports today, Patrick Bamford, and I'm just having a quick look to say this is still a moving story, and it looks like it is, that Patrick Bamford is on his way and is close to signing for Getafe. Matteo Moretto, the very popular journalist, is saying that he's now on the verge of signing for Getafe, which I did not expect that. We could be looking at a scenario where Patrick Bamford is coming up against Rafinha. And we could be looking at the arc of Patrick Bamford like maybe Ollie McBurney had at Las Palmas, where he went out there, spoke fluent Spanish, and was very good for Las Palmas, and then got his move back to the UK. Who knows how will Patrick Bamford's star rise? But yeah, apparently he is very close to signing for Getafe, which is mental. Did not expect that. I thought he'd be moving out potentially to an MLS side, but brilliant move for Pat. It's an unbelievable move, a top move. So good stuff. Gary McNamara says, congratulations, Connor, almost 50k subs. Well done on all your hard work. You really do love your job, but that's not the easy part with the fan base, not the hard work in the background. Yeah, and do you know what, Gary? A lot of the time as well, when I'm on late, it's not because I'm fiddling around and wandering around and, having a party in the morning. It's trying to get everything set up, the old notepad. And this is through the summer. So we've got the old notes every single day. So, it does. It's a lot more than you guys think as well. I appreciate it, mate. And do us a favor, everybody, subscribe if you haven't already. We're very, very close to hitting that incredible 50,000 as well. £200 bonus with the code ONELEADS. Check out our brilliant sponsors in Match Bingo. Everybody, you don't actually already have to be signed up. You can be signed up, or you don't have to be signed up. You get a 200% bonus with the code ONELEADS. Link in the description below with that as well. We also, I've told you about this as well, the fantastic BetMate, which at this moment in time, I'm about 50 quid up. As you can see there, it pays out to finishing 12th. Finishing third and all that sort of good stuff. Make sure you're checking out BetMate. The link in the description below. Fantastic. Okay, jersey code LEADS for 8% off. We are giving away OK jerseys on every single watch along. We had 2 other winners at the weekend, which was great stuff. We also are sponsored by the fantastic Shop GNO and the Job Match Group as well, ran by a Leeds United fan. Shop GNO is the best e-commerce site on the web at this moment in time. Cheap rates for you to list your shop on there, 5% cheaper than Amazon, Vinted, and eBay. And it's very, very cheap up there as well. Some fantastic football bits on there keep being loaded this week. And the Job Match Group tailored to all of your specific needs. Everybody, I know there's a lot of people struggling in the job market at this moment in time. All the links for those are in the description below. Make sure you check them out. Why the heck not? Okay, Paddy B finally got his European tour. As Okafor beating a player, nothing Solomon much better than him at this point. I think an MEC says Solomon better than Okafor. Rubbish. Fair play to the lad. Bamford has got La Liga Golden Boot. Here we go. It's good stuff in it. I'm happy for Patrick Bamford. And what a move that is for him as well. Getafe, brilliant agent. Another fantastic move which could potentially happen. Elland Meslier, according to sources out in Italy this morning, they're looking for a replacement for Jan Sommer next summer and are actively looking right now. And apparently, Elland Meslier has joined a shortlist with Stefan Ortega. According to reports this morning, Inter might be looking for 2 shot stoppers as well, and have added, obviously, Ortega and Elland Meslier to their list. So that should be interesting. But obviously, he's getting no minutes at Leeds, which is great. Darlow has come in and I think been brilliant as well. So Elland, stay away, my friend. Harry Wilson, an absolute U-turn, which I didn't expect. Reports this morning are suggesting from London World that Leeds United feel that a deal can be done, but Fulham are now working on a new contract. Okay. Obviously, his deal runs out in 2026, but apparently Fulham are now working on a new deal. Obviously, they didn't get Tyreek George in, so obviously that classifies, I guess, as another winger. Harry Wilson, 28 years of age. Are they offering him a new deal? Obviously, it's probably going to be a bit of a proof period for Wilson. London World are also reporting this morning that Wilson would still favour a move to Leeds United. Everton are now apparently looking at him as well, but that really doesn't make any sense for me with when they've got Njayi in that 3. They've got Dewsbury Hall, Jack Grealish, Tyler Diblin. It doesn't really make that much sense for me for them to be involved with Harry Wilson at this point as well. From what you understand as well, with Everton, when it comes to permanent signings, they're looking at younger, because obviously their permanent signing structure has just been of players of older age for like the past 10 years now. So they're trying to apparently change their transfer policy. Obviously, they've got Grealish, but that is a loan for now. Their permanent signing strategy is apparently to go for younger players, Tyler Diblin, Dewsbury Hall, etc. So I think Dewsbury Hall's around about 26, isn't he? So I'm not 100% sure on his age, but yeah, apparently that is their new policy if you to read some of the Toffee sites and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, guys, so let's have a look what you guys are saying in the comment section below. Meslier and the term shot stopper does not end in the same sentence. Bournemouth will be a difficult planet to Wolves. They will be YC, Y2C as well. I was thinking Y2J then, but they will be, mate. It's going to be very hard for Leeds. It's going to be a difficult one, but do you know what? If we can make it tough for them, if we can make it difficult, if we can close down the passing lanes, if we don't keep onto the ball too much, if we exercise a little bit of a route one strategy, I'm absolutely fine with that as well. And maybe Leeds United will get to a stage of which it's a little bit more advantageous for us. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. Listen, we've got White Noise back tonight. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel and your notifications are switched on. That's me and Brownie talking through the weekend's results and then obviously talking about the game coming up at the weekend. Make sure you join us for that, everybody. The last live show we did with Gabe did really well. I think it's on around about 14K views real time. Thank you so much for all of your ongoing support. If you are just joining now, check the replay out. You can go right to the very beginning. My name's Conor McGilligan. This is One Leeds. And of course, this is the Room Mill. Guys, I will see you tonight. And then for the